And welcome back to the show as you're listening to AIM Ocala Live, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. Is now 10 minutes past the top of the 9 o'clock hour as we're moving through this Wednesday, Hump Day, August 12th, as we welcome you to the show. I'm your host, Adam Mickelin, as we just finished up with Touching Hearts at Home, Ocala and the Villages, as I mentioned, as they are a home health personal care agency licensed with the state of Florida, as they're there to serve with compassion, excellence, and dependability, as they are a private duty, which means they work for you. Touching Hearts at Home offers help where it's called home, traditional residences, hospitals, and even healthcare communities. Their services provided are from personal care, companionship, Alzheimer's care, light housekeeping, even meal preparation, bathing support, personal hygiene, and other possibilities there for the help as they customize their service to their clients' needs. And you can find out more information for Touching Hearts at Home Ocala. You can go to touchinghearts.com/Ocala, or you can contact them. They do encourage you to give them a call, and if they don't pick up right away, they say they will give you a call back if you leave a message. 352-414-5316 as you can get your Touching Hearts consultant and consultation done today. Give them a call, 352-414-5316. Providing help and friendship is their goal, and doing it in a way that is absolutely important. For those who feel safer in their private homes, they can make those everyday living challenges so much easier so that you can enjoy staying in your home more safe and even longer. So for Jim Haskins there for Touching Hearts at Home, we appreciate the time, partner. Moving on, as it was brought up there with our Ocala Quick Minute News just within the 8 o'clock hour, that there was Tropical Depression 11 that is formed in the Central Atlantic, as we've been talking a little bit about this, as a tropical depression formed in the Central Atlantic on Tuesday, yesterday, and it's expected to develop into a tropical storm Josephine this week, and even as early as maybe late tonight. But this storm, however, may not last long, as the depression is currently over the Central Atlantic, moving westward and continuing a historic start to the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. Tropical Depression 11 officially formed over the Central Atlantic on Tuesday afternoon. And with that being said, as of Tuesday, the system appeared to have a healthy amount of thunderstorm activity and a defined center of circulation, allowing the National Hurricane Center to officially classify the system as a depression. But this storm may have a difficult journey ahead as it does track west. Saying, quote, "I doubt it can survive the wind shear ahead," Spectrum News chief meteorologist Mike Clay said of the tropical wave. However, quote, "it is nearing the peak of hurricane season, so we need to watch everything. If it were to develop into a named storm, which they may be expect tonight, it would be named Josephine and became the 10th named storm of the Atlantic season. Now, this would mark the earliest J-named storm on record, beating the current record set by Tropical Storm Jose back in 2005. And we're always referring back to 2005. It just feels like, man, that year was crazy when it came to the idea of tropical development. As we mentioned back in August, in 2005, Tropical Storm Jose, which developed on August 22nd of that year, Hurricane Katrina formed the next day. The 2020 tropical season in the Atlantic already sets records for the earliest C, E, F, G, H, and I named storms. Typically, the 10th named storm of the Atlantic season doesn't form until where they see about mid-October, and still roughly a month away from the peak of Atlantic hurricane season. Now, the forecast, however, looks a little murky. So while the depression developed in a similar area to where Tropical Storm Isaias formed a few weeks ago, it says this storm looks to have a lower probability than Isaias for surviving the long trek across the Atlantic, as high wind shear and drier air look to likely impact the storm system later this week once it moves closer to the Lesser Antilles on the eastern Caribbean Sea. As they say, the potential track of the depression into the southern Bahamas or the northern Lesser Antilles, though, means the tropical wave bears careful watch over the next few days. So we'll be watching that as we'll see where that'll end up as it may become Tropical Storm Josephine. Hurricane, maybe not. As they say, some drier air and wind shear. But we'll keep an eye on it. Head on a swivel this year, 2020, by God. Can't take anything for granted. We got more AM Ocala Live coming your way. We're going to take a short little break. We'll be back right after this.
Oh, hey, Grandpa.
Oh, hey, Grandpa.
Hey, Grandpa.
Yes, buddy?
Can you take me fishing this weekend?
I'd love to.
Have you noticed a change in your hearing over the years? Missing the little things in life? Visit Beneficial Hearing in Ocala today. Their expert team of audiologists will make sure you never miss a moment. Call Beneficial Hearing today at 352-629-4418 or visit them online, beneficialhearing.com.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source. Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Embrace Magazine is the first ever LGBTQ magazine based right here in Ocala with a mission to unite the LGBTQ community with the straight community through content appealing to all. Hi, I'm John Sotomayor, publisher and executive editor. Tune in to our quarterly radio show on Wednesday, August 12th at 10:35 a.m. here on WOCA. We will discuss topics from the premiere issue and the upcoming second issue called Heroes in the LGBTQ, expected to publish in October 2020. To receive regular updates, follow us on Facebook and visit our website at embracemagazine.us.
Why call Two Men in a Truck? If you're like most people, you're moving and you work hard. You call 352-289-0666. You need pros, trained, professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. You call 352-289-0666. People who care about your things as much as you do. Time is of the essence, and you want it done fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, the movers who care. Visit twomeninatruck.com today and get moving. So call 352-289-0666.
2 Men in a Truck.
On the first and third Wednesday mornings each month at 9:05 a.m., Robert Colin with On Top of the World will be our guest as we learn all about the exciting lifestyle and new home choices available at Ocala's premier adult active community, On Top of the World. From time to time, Robert will bring guests, and you're sure to enjoy our little chats. After all, you deserve the world, and we bring it to you. There's a staycation right here in town. It's Super 8 Motel Ocala, right down the road on 40, just west of I-75. And they're pet friendly. Have truck parking, free breakfast, a swimming pool, a kiddie pool, and veterans get 10% off. It's a staycation at Super 8 Ocala. Call today, Super 8 Ocala at 352-629-8794. Again, 352-629-8794.
People ask me why I've worked at Palm Garden for so long, and I tell them it's the people. I love to hear the life stories, especially those from the greatest generation. Celebrating life stories is what sets Palm Garden apart, finding out what's important to them. And I love being a resource. Like Macy's Santa, if I can't help, I'll send them to Gimbel's. After all, Palm Garden is located on 34th Street. I'm Jan from Palm Garden. Call me and let's chat. 854-6262.
We are proud to announce the Conservative Watch Hour on WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM every Friday at 11 a.m. Hosted by Annie Marie Delgado, President of Trump Team 2020 Florida, and her co-host Ann Vandersteel with SteelTruth.com. We are serving a higher level of excellence, and we are the only program of this type in this market. Don't miss your weekly dose of conservative talk radio. WOCA 11 a.m. Fridays, 96.3 and 1370 a.m.
WOCA.
Turning out to be partly sunny for the day today with a high 89 to 93. For tonight, a shower or thunderstorm spots for the evening, otherwise partly cloudy, low 74 to 76. Mostly cloudy Thursday with a thunderstorm in parts of the area in the afternoon, high 91 to 93. Friday, clouds and sun with widely separated thunderstorms in the afternoon, high 90 to 94. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Kevin Snyder.
WOCA, putting the local back into radio.
As we welcome you back, as you're listening to AM Ocala Live, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. Broadcasting to you live from the Paddock Mall, streaming live, YouTube Live, WOCA, The Source Radio. As we are, make sure you hit the like button as well as subscribe as we're moving right along with our Wednesday show. So we talked a little bit about the tropical wave out there with a opportunity of that depression to become Josephine. And we also, before the hour, we talked about, an accident waiting to happen with the TSA. Get this, finding more loaded guns and luggage as flyers return, as we were mentioning here, is with air traffic nearing a 5-month high since the coronavirus. Airport security is finding guns and passenger carry-on bags at least 3 times the rate recorded before the pandemic. Are you kidding me? And 80% of those guns are loaded. Officers found 15.3 guns for every million people screened in July, compared with 5.1 per million people in July of last year. That's incredible. This is the Transportation Security Administration said Monday, as there has been a significant increase in loaded guns at checkpoints, as said TSA Administrator David Pokeski. As he said, screeners are already working in conditions of heightened risks and that, quote, no one should be introducing new ones. And even more concerning is that 80% of the firearms coming into the checkpoint area are loaded, and it's just an accident waiting to happen. As, however, it is legal to transport guns in checked bags if they are unloaded and locked in the case. There are federal civil penalties for improperly placing a gun in a carry-on bag, and violators can lose the use of faster screening programs such as TSA PreCheck. But criminal charges are usually left to the local authorities. But just to give you an idea of that, last year, 4,432 guns were found in carry-on bags, or about 12.1 per day, and 87% were loaded. It says TSA's public appeal to follow gun rules came the same day that it reported screening 831,000 people on Sunday. It was the first time checkpoint traffic in the United States airports had had topped 800,000 since March 17th. And part of the reason I read this again is just for those who were listening and the idea of this firearm stuff. But at the same time, I just wanted to touch base on the idea of, it was the first time checkpoint traffic in the United States has topped 800,000 since March 17th, which is still down 69% from the comparable Sunday a year ago. But we're moving in the right direction, as far as, the airline industry that's been hit really, really hard. And every day I find out more of my colleagues, the ones that I know that are basically going to get furloughed by October, as everything's kept through with the last stimulus package to continue the help that those airlines needed, but looking to have an exchange of actually furloughing pilots come October, and a few of them with the regional airlines actually shutting down by the end of the year. So hearing that they've actually increased, as it's topped 800,000 since March 17th, is some good news, although still down almost 70% from where it was a year ago. Where we could see a year from now, I could maybe see back to normal in lieu of that vaccine that we talked about yesterday that was registered by the country of Russia, Vladimir Putin. But fascinating nonetheless. As we move on here a little bit, in lieu of COVID-19, as Marion County deputies ordered not to wear masks, as Sheriff Billy Woods, who we usually have on this show, as he was busy this week, but we'll have him on here next month, as Sheriff Billy Woods forbids his employees and those visiting his offices to wear masks in most circumstances at Ocala wrestles with masks mandate. It says that the city of Ocala wrestles with the ordinance requiring face coverings for people inside businesses. Marion County Sheriff Billy Woods told his employees that they will not wear masks to work, and visitors to the office can't wear masks either. It says Woods, in an email dated August 11th, said, quote, "My order will stand as is. When you are on duty / working as my employee and representing my office, masks will not be worn." The Ocala City Council passed an emergency ordinance last week requiring people to wear masks inside businesses. As Mayor Kent Gwynn voted it Monday, and the council will meet Wednesday to consider overriding the veto, as Mayor Kent Gwynn vetoed it on Monday. Marion County set a single-day record on Tuesday for the most deaths related to COVID-19, with 13 more deaths reported. So Ocala and other municipalities in Marion County also advise officers not to wear masks while on duty so that their communication to people that they encounter can be clear, as the idea of effective communication. Nationally, there is no consistent approach, as officers have been disciplined for not following state directives to wear masks, but Florida does not have a statewide order. As Woods has made some exceptions for officers to wear masks while working at the courthouse, the jail, and in public schools and hospitals, and dealing with people suspected of being infected with COVID-19 or at high risk of the complications from the disease. Saying, quote, "For all of these expectations, the moment the enforcement action is to be taken, and it requires you to give an individual order or command to comply, the mask will immediately removed," Woods said. As Woods said, deputies who worked special details or special events won't be allowed to wear masks unless it falls under the expectations that he provided. Saying, quote, "As for special details and or any special events, paid or not, masks will not be worn." Effective immediately, the entity that has requested and has hired a deputy for a special detail will be given clear instruction by Darian Tucker at the time of their written request that masks will not be worn unless one of those exceptions of the above apply. This is in addition, if you are the special detail deputy, you will again advise the contact person that a mask will not be worn by you. And this was all according to Sheriff Billy Woods' email. The sheriff said if anyone confronts an employee about them not wearing a mask, the employee should politely and professionally tell them I'm not required to wear a mask, nor will I, per the order of the sheriff, and walk away. It says, From that point on, my burden and responsibility to take care of the person and answer their problem, complaint, or their question, Woods had said. And it says those for visiting the Marion County Sheriff's Office, Woods said, effective immediately, any individual walking into any one of our lobbies, which includes the main office and all district offices, that is wearing a mask will be asked to remove it. As he added, in light of the current events, when it comes to the sentiment or hatred towards law enforcement in our country today, this is being done to ensure that there is clear communication and for identification purposes of any individual walking into a lobby, end quote. Woods said Marion County Sheriff's Office lobbies have barriers that protect employees and visitors. He said if a person does not wish to remove the mask, they will be asked to leave. And if the individuals is not comfortable with standing and waiting in the lobby with other individuals, they'll politely ask for their cell phone number, advise them to stand outside and sit in their vehicle, and then we'll give them a text or a call when they were ready for their completed transaction. He said here, quote, we can debate and argue all day why or why not. The fact is that the amount of professionals that give the reason why we should, I can find the exact same amount of professionals that say we shouldn't. And since the beginning of this pandemic, the operation of this office has not changed, and no wearing of masks has been put into place. Woods says it's 900 employees. Our number of cases so far has proven that the current way we are approaching this is working. And at least 36 employees in the Marion County Jail and 7 outside the jail, including patrol officers, have tested positive for COVID-19. More than 200 inmates have tested positive, and an affected nurse at the jail recently. It says Woods ended this, saying this no longer a debate, nor is it up for discussion. Please keep in mind that this entire pandemic is fluid and constantly changing in the ways in which it has been doing so. And then that idea, we will be allowed for my actions to be swift at the address. And followed that with the idea of both Holland and McQuaig said officers are given masks, and said a store requires an off-duty officer to wear a mask, then it's the officer's decision whether or not to wear one. So there you go there, a little bit different altogether. As we've come to the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour, AM Ocala Live. Stay tuned. We got more good show coming your way. Up next, when we come back from our national news break, Career Source. We'll have in studio. Laura Burns will give you what you need to hear through the community with the opportunities that are out there and what Career Source can do for you. Back after this, WOCA.
Radical. That's how Ronna McDaniel, the chair of the Republican National Committee, describes Senator Kamala Harris, who's been tapped as Joe Biden's running mate.
I think it was kind of a boring pick. I think everybody was expecting Biden to pick Kamala. I think it's interesting that she called him